Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I've created an app. I've improved the app GIF that was a part of
Sorry.
Metakgp.
Just hang on. Can you mute one of the mics?
क्या बोले?
Can you mute your mic?
Okay, my mic is muted.
No, it's not muted. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. I saw the project gift at Metakgp and I thought of improving it. Initially, like the command line interface is too complicated for its novice user to understand. So I just simplified the whole process and created another one, gift too. So I will demo that for you. And okay. So this is my the source code of gift 2 that I've created. It does not log into your ERP, so it does not need your password. It just needs the timetable file, the HTML file to convert the timetable. And so I have here the my timetable noted here. And as you can see, there are a few days in which there are two columns like this one, the CS1 CSPDS class of mine is repeated twice. So if I run this in the old gift program, it will crash because it will do this column in a separate day. So this will go in Tuesday and this next one will whole column will go into Wednesday. So to solve that problem, I have just deleted these columns and the my program processes this file. So let me just save it in my folder of gift 2. Over here, this was the first file, but let me just save it. Let me locate my. Now, when I run the program, I think it will run through the file automatically. It recognizes the name of the file, so it's hard coded into the program. And now it has saved the timetable as data.txt. In this, there's also another improvement that it generates the ICS file in the script also. So it asks if you want the ICS file to be generated. And if you want, you can press enter and then it will show the. It also has better messages like this one. So I will just enter PDS here for it, and this is my math score, so I will enter maths, and it has generated my timetable. So let me just upload it on Google Calendar so you can see it. And it's just simple for anyone to do this. So I will just select the ICS file and import. And here is my timetable. So it is very easy now to use gift, so anyone can easily do this one. And there are a few quirks that I want to solve with this. A few of them are like we do not yet have a system that we can update the dates of the semester, so we have to always hard code it into this program. So we could have it as a separate file which we can update, and the program can access that file on a other location. Or if we could find a way to get it from the ERP, it would be better. Or if the user itself can enter it in the command line. Also, there is a possibility that we can, add the generated ICS files, and we can host them in a website. Like for first years, UG first years, the timetable is pretty much the same for 16 sections. So we can have 16 different files hosted on a website, and people can just download the files and then upload it into their Google calendars. that would be much easier than using the gift program or anything similar that way. And then I would also like to talk about how I created the blog, my blog, the Black. I created using Hugo. So Hugo is a static site generator, and I prefer it over other generators due to a few things. Like first of them is that Hugo is fast. It doesn't need much configuration for doing things like it's based on Go, and it compiles in, I mean, milliseconds. It creates the pages, and also the second thing that I like about it is that the server is like online. So let me just open my GitHub site. This is my this is my blog essentially, and the thing is that uh, Hugo renders it live. Like if I save a file over here, and the local server will render it live, so I can see the changes just by saving it and seeing it over there. Now it's serving it, and it's also watching for the files to reload. So if I just go to localhost, and here's the blog that is there. So let me just change one of the posts. So if I go to say misfits and I change some content over here, and just I just save the file, so it will update that. Just save this file, and then up, it's just live updated over here. And also, another thing that I like is that the themes are completely separated as the repositories in this Hugo. So if I generally use the Minimo theme, and another thing that I like is that if I want to change the theme, I do not need to change it in the website in the whole repo. So if the author of the Minimo repo makes another like he makes an improvement in the Minimo website, so I cannot just grab that thing and put it here if I changed it earlier. On the other hand, what I can do is like I can go to static and create a CSS folder and put a custom.css there. So this custom CSS would also be included in my blog, and then I don't have to change the Minimo theme. And if the author of the Minimo theme updates the theme, then I can just fetch this theme, and I won't have to hustle about new updates. And then there is another thing like I don't have access. I can when if I cannot change the HTML pages, I have very few ways to include my own fonts and styles over there. One I've used here is from the Google Fonts. So I have used the CSS import, and it works pretty well fine for me. Otherwise, there are very few ways to just get there. And that is what I wanted to share.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I like that you used the static site generator for your blog. Was that difficult to set up?
Not much difficult. Like there are much more difficult setups. Like I once used Jekyll, and I did some strange stuff and refused to make the websites locally. So it was only making the websites when it was pushed to GitHub. And I also used another website generators. Like I've used the Python stat generator that I'm forgetting the name of. But I've used that one, and I use it pretty well. I created an entire theme for that, but then it was a lot of hassle. So Hugo's was a lot simpler than those. And yeah,
Okay,
it
that's
was.
nice. What is Hugo written in?
Yeah,
What is Hugo written in?
Hugo is written in Go.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah, going back to the timetable thing. So that's quite nice. Are people using it? Have you told people about the new version? Hello.
Yeah, what we're saying.
I was asking if people are using the new version of Gift that you've written.
Uh, I have not yet openly shared it. I have shared it in my on my Facebook, but not that much. Like, go and use this because almost the SMS is ending. So right before the start of the new semester, I will try to share it a lot more.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I forgot the semester is ending. Um, one thing I can imagine though is that people who aren't programmers will not be able to use it. Am I right?
Yeah.
Is there a way that non-programmers can you can make it really easy for them to use this?
Yeah, I can try. Like I've suggested, like first year students can just download the file from a website that could be hosted on GitHub, and they can just import this to the Google Calendar. And for others, I think they can be away. Like some people worked on a web server, so the posting of that on online. So you just have to enter your room number, etc. So I would like to edit that one and just if you just upload the HTML file, so you don't even have to enter your password, etc. And so your ERP logins are saved and you don't have to enter that and you still get the timetable. So I would like to do that and help in
Okay.
contribute in that team.
Okay. Cool. So what excites you about this project? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
I was asking what excites you about this. Why are you doing it?
Well, about I did not know about this for the first semester. I only got to know about it in the second semester, and I really like to use Google Calendar. Like I create events most of the time in Google Calendar and keep track of things over there. So this when I saw this gift, I was pretty impressed. But the user manual for that was pretty large. Like you have to do a lot of things. You have to get Google authentication and to get the file over there. So I just simplified the whole process a lot more. So
Yeah.
more people could use it.
Awesome. That's really cool. Well done.
Thanks.
I hope that you release a version of this that non-programmers can use, because that's when people really start using it all the time. Awesome. Thanks, Aditya.
Thanks.
Well done. Um, is that the only demo, Siddharth?
No. You just mute your matlab, speaker. So Kaustav is going to demo something. Kaustav.
Awesome.
So I'll need 2 minutes to set up.
Okay, no worries.
So we have two more demos now. Oh, by the way, the gift to thing was nice. So what we are going to do is we are planning to incorporate the HTML thing into the main product itself, like the gift itself, because that's like a really cool idea. And it does not require us to get the ERP credentials. So yeah, so when Nishant posted it on Facebook, a lot of people commented saying, "Why should I give you my ERP credentials and stuff?" So yeah, so that's really
Okay.
cool. And
So
yeah,
so it's like people will be able to upload the HTML to web page, basically, right?
sorry, what?
So when by incorporate you mean that people will be able to upload the web page, upload the
Yeah,
HTML to a web page.
yeah.
Okay. Um, you should make sure that the correct screen or the correct participant is being broadcast.
Oh yeah. I'm just going to select this present to everyone thing. I think that should fix
Okay.
it. तेरा दिख रहा है. Can you using my mic?
So अब वो वाला नोट्स करते हैं उसमें.
वैसे कुछ भी लिखा है उसमें. तेरा दिख रहा है.
So hi, I'm Kaustav, and I have 3 projects here. I'll show 2 of them now. So the project that I'm working on is Facebook Archive. Hi, I'm Kaustav, and I have 3 projects here. I'll show 2 of them now. So the project that I'm working on is Facebook Archive. I'm Kaustav, and
Sorry, you're getting cut off. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Oh, YouTube stream कर रहा था. Okay, sorry.
am I audible?
Yeah, now you're audible.
So the project that I'm working on is Facebook Archive. So in in light of recent like the data breach of Facebook, what they had done is Facebook had made available all the data the website has on a particular user. So I tried to have some I tried to exploit it. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to see how many friends I made every month or every week. So I've written a script that allows me to do that. Just a minute, I'll open the window once. Just a minute, like. So basically, I have 2 scripts. Video नहीं आ रहा है guys. Are you able to see a terminal? Your audio is.
Yeah, I think he is able to see that, right?
Yeah.
Basically, I have 2 scripts with. First one is to see how my friends increase over a period of time. So that is plot friends.py. What it does is Facebook has given us like around 600 MB of data that it has on me, and using this, I tried to plot how frequently I make new friends and what is the any sort of distribution that I have. So when I run the script, first it shows me how many friends I made each day. The blue plot shows how many friends I made each day, and the orange plot is basically a cumulative of friends so far. The second plot it shows is only the new friends made each day, and the third plot is a bit interesting. So what it does is it plots how many friends I made in a particular month. So you could see in March there is a spike, and in around July we have a spike. So this corresponds to the March peak corresponds to election season when new candidates send you a lot of friend requests, and this is when basically every new batch joins in, so there are a lot of juniors who send you friend requests. And another part of this is I can also plot how frequently I share messages with my friends. So when I enter this ID, what it does is, for a particular friend of mine, it shows how many messages I shared with them each day, and the cumulative messages shared so far. So, and this is only for each day. And this plot is interesting because it shows me at what this across month again, and this is across each hour. So this was for a particular friend. I can also plot all the messages that have been shared so far for all users. So this is across all users. All of my friends, all of my group chats are here. So I have around 15,000 messages exchanged so far on Messenger. This is the new messages per day, per hour. And this is across months. So what I found is during our examinations, like in February, in April, in September, and in November, there are certain drops because of examination. Like I found that means I message my friends less frequently during examinations, and this is like the most interesting plot. So what I did is I plotted the messages across the hour of the day. So this is at midnight. This is 9 a.m. This is 10 a.m. So as you can see, there is a peak at 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. and there's a sudden drop at 10 p.m. So what happens is I get calls daily from my family at 10. So there is a explainable drop. And what I can also see is from 3 to 7, I almost do not message anyone. Now the current system allows me to plot messages for a particular user and across all users. So what I plan to do is I want to see which are like the top 10 friends whom I message a lot, and that will help me a lot, because if you see, for a particular user, for a particular friend, I had shared 8,000 messages with them, and overall I had shared only 15,000 messages, which means there is like, although I might have messaged 100 of people, 90% of those messages go to only 5 or 10 people. So that was my demo.
Well, that's very interesting. Yeah, I have a few different questions, but let me start with why is this useful? What are you doing with this?
Can you repeat the question?
The question is why is this useful? Like, are you trying to explore your Facebook behavior, or do you have a specific goal in mind?
My goal is only this, that I want to see how frequently I message with people. Actually, I always wanted to plot how frequently I meet new users. So what I found was, in my first or second year, I made more friends than in third year. And I initially wanted to develop a web app for this, but the problem in that is, because of Graph API and all, it will make a lot of requests. So say I have 2,500 friends, it will make 2,500 requests, which will take a lot of time. And Graph API, I tried working with it, but it wasn't very easy. So once they allow me to download this data, it becomes very easy to plot this. And so there is one friend of mine who message every day. And like as I told earlier, out of my 15,000 messages, 8,000 messages are to that particular friend. So I want to see which are the users I message only during exams, which are the friends that I talk in general a lot, and that is just something that I wanted to do.
Okay, cool. So I guess the idea is more exploring your data in a visual form.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you think it would be interesting to allow like people to do this on a web interface, like interactively?
So that is the plan.
Oh, I see.
Because if the user has already downloaded the data, I was thinking of building a web app where they can just drop the HTML file, and all of this will be generated automatically, or the user can just give the location of the folder, and all of this will be done automatically. But
okay,
I'm planning to work on this in May.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's very interesting. Thanks for building this.
So the input to this is the archive that you download.
Basically. So I give the link. इसमें आप मेरे स्क्रीन पे दिखा सकते हो।
तुझे ज्वाइन नहीं किया था।
Just 1 minute.
Yeah, no worries.
तेरा है क्या इंटरनेट? हाँ जाए.
So as you can see, this zip that they allow me is around to download is around 512 MB. So what I do is I request them to give the location of this extracted zip. And like if you play around with this, you'll see a lot of things. I'll just show you once. So the downloaded archive, what it does is it gives you a basically offline version of your Facebook. You can go to your friends, you see what were the friends that you made each day. And if you go to messages, you basically have different like different conversations, like that may be a particular user or a particular group chat with multiple people.
Quality वाला
Okay.
logins and stuff.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And if I go to my profile, it will show me like my information, and an offline version of my timeline is also available on this archive. So I thought it was pretty interesting to like,
The profile?
profile will be my information.
Showing your family.
Yes.
Oh, this is your family on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay.
Matlab, the people that I've accepted as like. So it was pretty scary, and actually it also has records of my like it basically if you see, it has all the contacts that I have on my phone, and it also has the messages that I might have shared with my friends via text, not via messenger itself.
Oh, might have shared. What does that mean?
Here, these contacts, these people might or might not be on Facebook, but these are
on your phone.
And like once I might have allowed it, तो पूरा उठा गया.
Oh, so तूने जब app install करके allow किया तब किया ना ये सब? If you don't install the app, they won't get
it. It was pretty scary that
Yeah,
they put everything up, and it's not like it will use it for lookup, but it just takes everything. I'm not sure where it is, but it also takes like Geo 4G messages and everything. Everything is done. So that was pretty scary.
Wow.
That's my perspective.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think I think lots of people would be really interested in looking at this data for themselves. So you should definitely work on that web version.
So actually, I tried asking like 2 of my friends to try it. So one of my friends who uses Ubuntu, they were able to use it, but on Windows it was having certain issues. So building a web app is the best way to go forward. So I'll be working on that immediately after the session.
Cool. Awesome.
That's my first question.
Cool.
So, okay then.
Okay, while like I have another project that I can show you. So what happened is, so I'm a really big binge watcher. So what I do is I start a TV series, and like if there are 7 seasons, I have to watch the complete series in 7 days. And what I did was how do you share this screen? Like, how do you make this screen as visible?
तूने वापस छोड़ दिया ना? You left the call.
नहीं यार, forget.
नहीं, you left it. मतलब you don't have internet probably. Yeah, internet. क्या दिखा रहा था?
So I had built this. Like,
Oh हाँ ये
simple.
Interesting था. अच्छा देखिए. मुझे नहीं पता था कि ठीक है.
मैं suits का भी बनाता हूँ.
हाँ.
Audio
off कर.
Can you read this? Hello. Okay, so my name is Dheeraj, and
Oh Dheeraj. इसका हुआ नहीं है. इसका हुआ नहीं अभी. तेरा नहीं है स्क्रीन, तूने ज्वाइन नहीं किया. स्क्रीन शेयर.
So I I was watching Two and a Half Men. So I was watching Two and a Half Men. So if you had some idea about it, it ran for 12 seasons, and somewhere in the middle, like for the first 8 seasons, Charlie Sheen was the lead actor, and he was replaced by Ashton Kutcher. So what I saw is from season 9, when Ashton joined in, the series became very boring, and the finale was the worst. And what I saw is the final episode of this series had an IMDb rating of 4.3. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to see is it possible to plot all this data, all this IMDb ratings and everything in a plot. So basically, I have two similar projects. So I wrote a script that will do this for me. So what I do is I give certain arguments like what show it is, whether I want to show a bar chart or whether I want to show averaged version. I'll come to that soon. And whether I want to see only the IMDb ratings or whether I only want to restrict the Wikipedia, only the US TV viewers which I get from Wikipedia. So I do this. So say the show that I want to see is 30 Rock, and once I run it, it will automatically detect the IMDb link for the video, which is very easy, and it will print out all the IMDb ratings across seasons, and it will show me a plot. I'll come to that. So what you see here is the blue blue line represents individual ratings of a particular episode, and the orange bar represents the season average IMDb rating. So as you can see, it is pretty consistent as a show. But what was interesting is when I do this for Two and a Half Men, there is a very interesting pattern to see. So here you can see it prints out all the episode-wise ratings and the average rating of that season. So as you can see, the first 8 seasons had an average rating above 8 per season, and when Ashton Kutcher joined in, like there was a serious drop in the IMDb ratings, and the last season had the lowest rating, which was pretty interesting to me. So what I also wanted to do is I wanted to see whether there was a connection between rating and how many people are watching the episode. Is it like if there are fewer people watching it, it has a higher rating, or is there some pattern there? So when I give it an argument of -W, which is Wikipedia instead of -IMDb, I see this. So as expected, like season finales have an averagely higher viewership than the rest of the season, and this means like the season 2 finale was much more interesting than the rest of the season. And in season 8, when Charlie Sheen left and a new cast member was going to join in, the viewership rose exponentially. So here you can see like the average is still less than 18 million viewers, but here it spiked to 28 million viewers. So that was interesting. Like when a new cast member joins in, there was a surge. There was a surge when like the final episode of the whole series was going to be showed, and that was pretty interesting to me. Like I could see is if there is a correlation between viewership and like is it possible if like Game of Thrones is more broadly watched than say Rick and Morty. So is it like for an average episode of Game of Thrones, which is of the same quality as Rick and Morty, does it have a higher rating because more people have watched it, or is there a lower rating? So that was possible. And in this repository, I have plotted like IMDb ratings for multiple users. I'll show like the page is loading. बहुत slow चल रहा है।
यहाँ पे नहीं है। last connection last.
Just वापस वही इंटरनेट
नहीं है क्या इंटरनेट इसमें चला सकता नहीं
there might be a second time. Join I guys later.
इतना टाइम क्यों लगा Still just setting it up.
बिल्कुल रिलायबल ही है ये।
हाँ देख अकेडमी में चल रहा है कैंपस में चुना लो
So I'll show you the plot once again for IMDb ratings. The Wikipedia US TV viewership. So what we saw is like the season finale generally has a higher viewership than the rest of the season, and this is consistent across most of the seasons. Here in this case, I did not like the data was not available, so it's showing it as 0. And when a new cast member joined in, the viewership rose like exponentially. And what this script allows me to do is I can give it any argument, like any show, and it will plot it properly. So in this repository, I've made like available plots for different shows. So seeing this, you can get a rough estimate what the IMDb rating for a show is across multiple seasons. So as you can see here, Always Sunny in Philadelphia is a consistent show. Then Big Bang Theory, initially it was good, and now there is a fall in the viewership. So one interesting thing here was if I do this for Sherlock, so a lot of people felt the last season was disappointing, and that is reflected in the IMDb ratings as well. So what I have managed to do is I've been able to collect data for all users, and Actually, there was a very famous web app for this, but actually it got discontinued because IMDb does not allow you to download like scrape data from their website, and that is one of the reasons why I cannot go with a web app here, and that is why I chose to write this. This was my second topic.
Okay, this is really interesting. It's in your GitHub, right? I'll go and check it out. It's pretty cool to look at the different TV shows and see how the patterns are different. Them.
So, do you have any questions for this? The second project regarding IMDb and everything.
Not really. I think so. One interesting thing would be that these are very aggregate statistics, right? These are like average ratings for each episode or something. How are you? So the views are calculated from Wikipedia, right?
The views actually Wikipedia has a plot that Wikipedia has tables for each season, which shows this was this episode for a particular season. This was the episode number. This was the episode title, a brief summary, and the US viewership in millions. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, I'm wondering if by looking at this, you can decide which TV shows to watch, or like how much of them to watch. I think it gives some useful information. Yeah, I don't really have any questions as such. It's just interesting to look at.
I think now Dheeraj can present. If you're
okay.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Dheeraj. I'm a second year undergraduate here. So I'm going to demo two applications today. So the first one is a web extension. The web extension is not complete as of now. So I'll give a short demo of what it does. So I generally face problem when I have a lot of tabs open with me. So I generally have to go through all the tabs and then scroll here to see all my tabs. So I've created a web extension through which I can search. There is a key binding which would show me all the tabs which I have with the name and URL. Through this, I can search with the title, and on entering, I would be redirected to that tab. So as of now, I have not completed the redirecting part, but the UI part has been made. So, and okay. अच्छा here screen share. Actually, your screen sharing. Okay, now. Okay, it's okay. Okay, so as I told, I face a problem when there are a lot of tabs open here with me. Okay, so so it is very difficult for me to navigate through all the tabs. So I have created a web extension which opens on a certain key binding. In this case, it would be Alt1. On pressing Alt1, I would get a window, a pop-up, in which I can search using the tab URL or tab name. So as you can see, we can type the name of the tab, and on entering, we would be redirected to that tab. So as of now, I haven't completed the functional part. The UI has been made. Okay, so
this is awesome. So, I've been searching for an extension like this for a long time.
So
wait, so what's the part that's remaining?
The functional part, like the redirecting part. On entering, the person would be redirected to that tab which he has selected.
Oh, by
And
redirected, you mean that tab will be brought into focus?
yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. I like the UI. It's very minimalist.
Okay, the extension has been made using Web Extension API, so that can be used in Chrome as well as Firefox. So that
Nice.
should be. Uh,
That's pretty
so
cool. Did you find any other extensions that do this?
no, actually, I searched. I really wanted something which would solve most difficult apps. So
Yeah.
I wasn't able.
Why do you think other people haven't done this yet? This seems like pretty useful, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why there is no app for this. I guess when Firefox Quantum came recently, so a lot of extensions which were working before are no more working now. So
Hmm.
Firefox is also launching a lot of contests so that more extensions are going to make. So
Hmm.
you, so I thought that this would be a pretty good idea. So I got the inspiration from Atom text editor.
Yeah.
In Atom, like. Uh, in,
Yeah, this makes a lot of
okay.
sense. There's there. Sorry, did you were you gonna say more things about this demo?
I was going to show how Atom works and how my app would be similarly working in that case.
Oh, okay, sure. I think I've seen how Atom switches, so that's fine.
Okay.
Um,
So,
yeah, there were a couple of things that are more like improvements, so you can think about whether or not you like them. One is that it'd be cool to see a screenshot of each tab in the search results, so you can just visually narrow down on what you want. Another thing is it would be cool to index the text on the page itself. So even if you don't remember the title or the URL, if you just remember what the page was roughly about, you can sort of search through that.
so
Um,
I thought about this, but web extensions have a lot of like permission issues that you can only access the tab's name and URL. You can't access the whole content of that page. So
oh, I see.
that would be one problem in creating that functionality.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know anything about this new, like this web extension API thing. Is this something new? Is this like a new browser standard for making extensions?
Yeah. It has been recently adopted by Firefox and all other major browsers use Web Extensions API.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So it is easy to make extensions in. You can just code. You don't have to write separate codes for Chrome and Firefox. You just can use the same
Yeah.
code for both of them.
Okay. Have you put up the code anywhere? Is it open source?
Not the project is not complete, so the code is not yet open source. So once I guess I would be completing the work in 1-2 days. So after that, I can actually open source my application.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so can I show my next?
Sorry?
Okay, I have one more thing to show, one more application which I want to show. Okay, so
So actually, the search using like just the name and the URL was like a part of the browser itself. I think it's still part of the browser.
Oh, is it? How do you do that?
I think you just search for it. You can configure it to like show you an option that says switch to tab. So if I think if you're trying to open the same exact URL, then it will give you like yeah, it'll give you an option to open the tab. So yeah, but
Okay.
but indexing the text on the tab is actually really good. That is the like,
Yeah,
something
I don't know.
different
I
about the
tried I tried searching for a way to quickly switch tabs on Chrome. I couldn't find anything. But if there is something, then and you know about it, let me know.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think, yeah. So Firefox has this thing where you can switch your tab if you're opening the same exact URL. but
Okay.
yeah, so
I think
you
in
can't.
Google,
Yeah, Google Chrome also has the same thing, yeah, but not the like, search part, right? Not the title. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so for the second demo, this was a project I did under CS department a month ago. So this is the portal through which, so CL Scholar is a portal which indexes all the ACL papers and authors, conferences, all the things. And through this, so before what we had was that all the papers were archived in ACL Anthology Network. So there were only papers, research papers. So our team has extracted all the authors, the metadata, and all this everything, and created a graph through that, and we have created citation graph, the whole thing. So after getting the raw data, I have created a portal through which you can actually see all the data together. So for this author, the things, we have a collaborators graph. So we have all the plots like the publication trend, the citation trend, temporal distribution of fields, and one can also see the publications by that author. And there's a papers page and there's author page and conference page. Okay, so apart from that, the portal also has can we can also search using NLP queries. Like if I type list the papers with most citations, so I would get the list with the citation number in a sorted manner. So there are like 1200 NLP queries which the portal supports. So if I type how many papers are published this earning, so I would get a plot of the year versus the number of publications he has in that year. So there are like more than 1200 queries which the system supports, and other than that, we have the regular pages like the page for a particular conference where you can see like number of total citations that conference has, the number of publications, the citation trend, the publication trend, and all the things. And for the query, we have three types of results. Like if I type, uh, are there any papers published by Anivesh Arjun? So would get the answer of yes or no. So we have total three type of results, like the list results, the graph result, and a binary result of yes and no. So this is the portal. We also have API support through which all that data which we are using can be used for if someone wants to see that data or use them in their system. And we have the stats over there, like number of papers versus the publications in that year. And those are things.
That's awesome. I love the fact that you can ask natural language queries. That reminds me a lot of things like Wolfram Alpha. That's pretty cool. Is that system open source? The system
Yeah,
that's powering the
yeah,
NL
yeah, yeah.
queries.
The system is open source. I can give a link. So there is an organization on GitHub named CL Scholar where all that data is open source.
Is it very easy to extend? Like, is it easy to add new types of queries to it?
Yes, we can easily add new queries. Like if I can show you the code, just so this portal is template-based queries. So we have to write a template for a query. So if I do, so so I have a query list with like all the queries have been assigned an ID, and I have we The queries are then fetched using MongoDB queries, and so it's very easy to extend the query list. Like if I can write one query, that can be extended into list and binary queries too. So from one query, we can have three queries, and we can then change the different parameters like the venue, the name of the author, and through this we can generate many multiple queries.
I see. So it's doing something like you have some finite set of queries, and then when you type in a natural language query, it tries to map it to one of those predefined queries, if it
Yeah,
can.
right. Yeah. So yeah, maps to one of the queries, and if in case there are no matches, so it would try to retrieve any the name of author or a name of conference that has in that query. So if someone types just the name of author, so it will be redirected to the first page directly. So we try to show
Yeah.
at least one result, so that we try to minimize the possibility when there is no result at all using that
Yeah.
system.
I mean, this is it's really impressive. Like it'd be amazing if you could do this for like KGP, for instance, right? Like if you could say, what is CNERG, and it shows you like a little snippet about that, like a Google search. Or if you could say like who are the governors of this society, and it just lists them. That kind of thing would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that would be
Um,
it.
yeah.
I think any column there would be getting the data of all those things. Like,
Right, but the thing is that the data we have on the wiki, for a lot of things we have the data, and it's usually pretty structured as well. Um, so if we had the thing we don't have is good search, and your system seems to be a way to surface that data through natural language queries. So it's actually a pretty good fit for that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. You like hopefully we can like I don't know if you have a video of just the demo of the system or something, but if you have one, or I mean this what you just did is also a demo, and we shared on the Metakgp Slack. Hopefully there are people who are interested in doing that.
yeah, so actually this has been public. This is going to be demoed at NACL conference in New Orleans in summers. So we have submitted and
Oh,
the
nice.
demo was. So
That's
okay,
cool.
so I will.
Do other universities or research groups have they built things like this before?
So not the same. They had there was so natural queries were not in any of them. They had pages, and actually the sorting parameter was not good. They were only indexing, and the data was not updated. So in our system, the data would be updated as new papers come. So it is totally automatic. You don't have
That's
to
yeah.
again.
It's very surprisingly modern for like a KGP research group, like using Mongo and having such a nice UI. Who all are working on this, and like how did you get to choose these technologies?
So I one of my colleagues, Rhythm. So Rhythm is also a member of POS, and I'm also a member of POS. So once Rhythm asked me if I wanted to work on a project, so I was learning React.js and MongoDB and all the other things. So they particularly wanted a portal. So they pitched me the idea of the whole thing. So it was up to me to choose the tech stack. So I thought that MongoDB and React would be a good combination for this application.
Oh, nice. So are you like the only developer on this project?
I have made the online portal was made by me. The back like the data extraction and the graph, the making of all the graph structures was done by the other team, the other members of the team.
I see. And then you imported the graph into MongoDB.
Right. So they gave me all the data in a JSON format, and I imported that into MongoDB, and through that I am able to display and do all kind of stuff.
That's really impressive. Well done. Cool. Awesome.
Regarding this project, I had a question. So, are you making a citation graph and anything like, say, for a particular person, are you showing like how their citation graphs spread, like who are citing that paper, and whether the same person is citing their own paper. Are you doing something like this?
So we have the citation trend of paper, but the network, I guess, who cites whose paper, that sort of thing is maybe not there. The paper citation is there, like thinking between papers, like paper A cites paper B and paper B cites paper C, that sort of thing is there. But author cite, there's no direct relation between author and a paper cited by him. So if you want to see if the author has cited that paper, so you have to go through the author's paper, and through that paper you can see if that paper has been cited.
No, I'm saying that, say a particular person has has 30 papers, and out of them, one paper, some other paper has used 3 or 4 of them. So, are you visualizing any of this on your web app?
So actually, we plan to do, yeah. So that we were planning to do that so that we can see how many the collaboration of two authors. So I guess I'm not sure if that is ready now, but I have to check because there are 1,200 queries and I'm
Because
not
that
aware.
that to me will sound very interesting. Right?
So yeah, we had a plot where we can see that papers published. I guess we have that in the system. Just let me check.
I mean, the cool thing about this system is it's very extensible, right? So you like if you want to add a new type of query, it's very easy to just add a Mongo query and then
I guess multiple. So we have that feature where we can find that two authors were co-authors for a single paper. So we have that. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
what's the system that's mapping natural language queries to Mongo queries?
So yeah, so that was made by one of the team members. So there is a, I can show you the file.
And how extensible is that? Like, if you add a new type of query, how much work do you have to do to support it?
Yeah, the work for adding new queries is not that hard, I would say, because we have there is a entity recognition file where it recognizes all the entities, and there is a mapping. Mapping file which gives IDs to all the things. Like it finds the author, like it finds like words like when it's the system finds words like when, then it can give assign a certain flag to that, and it can add a number. So we keep on adding subtracting numbers to the IDs so that it matches the required query. So I guess this is pretty extensible to what our future needs are.
Wait, what do you mean by adding and subtracting numbers? Like, are adjacent query IDs, are they also similar in terms of the query?
So queries with like the okay. So yes. Like the single digit queries are queries which were uh, all the like the grouping has a particular characteristics. Like queries from 1 to 1,000 were binary queries, 2,000 to 10,000 were like list queries, and then beyond that were, I guess, the plot queries. And moreover, we would be like what I meant by adding is that suppose we find certain uh, like in this case we find that there is a flag and we add certain number to that query ID to match our need. So if there is a list query like 2,000 and there is one 10,000, so in both of them 600 can be added to match that extra word we find in that statement.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're like using ranges of integers to denote categories of queries or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's pretty impressive. Thanks for demoing that.
Thank you.
So is there another method to convert the queries to Yeah, just come.
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
Yeah, so my question was, is there like another way to convert the natural language query to a MongoDB query? Or, because this seems, is this the way or this is?
So this is not the only way, but we had meetings throughout the project. So one of the professors said that in most of the systems now, in advanced systems, most of the thing is done using template-based queries, so that they are more accurate and more things can be added. So I guess for mapping national queries with MongoDB queries. So I don't know much about NLP, so I won't be able to comment on that. But through this mapping, one can easily use number queries.
So template matching is when you have like questions of some sort.
So yeah, so what we did was that first of all we wrote all the queries which we wanted. Like we made a Google Doc with all the queries which we wanted. Then accordingly we wrote Mongo queries for all of them. And the other side was making entity recognition for assigning query IDs. So once that was done, with every query ID, we will be adding the execute function which we had for MongoDB.
So on the website, are you showing somewhere like these are the kind of queries that you make?
So no. So we have past about we have added I guess all the possibility which can be added. So we also track all the other queries which are being added in a system and they are not available. So we keep track of them in our logs, and we in future we will be adding those queries. So we have also taken feedback with other people, and they have said that what are the so we have noticed what the common query patterns are, and we have tried to include all those common patterns. So we are not restricting the user to certain queries.
So this is like the range thing or something that you came up with, or are there already systems that do this?
So I didn't work on that entity recognition part. So
okay, so that guy came up with it, or is there like this on that? Because this seems like I mean it seems ad hoc, but it seems very like jugadu. You just do it, right? So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so nice. I mean, this is really good. You should like publish it in KG Business. Knows, right? It's also accessible from outside, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The website was down. 1 or 2 a.m. I checked it. So you might have to do it.
I was using the online version.
I know of this project company,
so I actually, if there is an error, the server automatically restarts.
Okay, that's good.
So in that case, it would automatically restart.
Definitely publish this. The citation community thing was the network that you're talking about, right? Network of publishers. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, it's very cool. What did the professors say when you showed them the UI?
So everyone was impressed with the UI because no one in KGP used that. No one in KGP uses React for research projects and all the stuff. So
not for research projects.
They are just stuck with PHP.
No one actually knows React exists. Like, people don't know Node.js.
So they left the tech stack to be there so that I can select any framework or any database for according to my convenience. So I thought it would be easier to scale in React.
Yeah. React is really good. Like, I think even like, so that's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just show the numbers for chill zone that were there.
Okay.
Yeah. So go. Next. So we had 600 people. This is like 11 days of data, and I think. Can you see time wise? देख सकते हैं क्या इसमें?
I think that is the default view.
कौन सा?
Where you see like
day में कब कौन है?
Yeah, if you go to behavior, you'll see it there.
Yeah,
there it is.
12 This is pretty. Okay, people are using it around. Can you? Yeah, I haven't seen. रात में बहुत है मैं देख.
So on a particular Tuesday, a lot of people use it. I don't know, like maybe the number of shares increased that day, or
I published it on Monday, so I guess yeah.
Yeah.
Published it Monday noon or something.
and like
Yeah.
even people who shared that this is something that we built, and like even those shared got good feedback. This was a
Yeah.
much needed product, and like,
Yeah.
we had a reply, like we had feedback from people like the schedule. And,
Oh
like, that was
yeah. Yeah. So what happened with it was that we completely left out the first year timetable. So all those rooms were being shown as empty, and then this girl commented, and we figured that out, and then we included it. So yeah, that was like the major mistake. That was like the ERP just does not show the room numbers for first years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are trying to complete it. And
apart from this, like some courses have 3 classes,
Yeah.
and the prof takes an extra class every day,
Yeah.
like every week. So people are also suggesting this, like, can you add this? Although the room seems empty, it is not. We have an extra class.
Yeah.
So that
yeah,
was
so this was the
that
thing I was
was
talking
collaborate.
about. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think one thing for this might be to like make it more discoverable somewhere. So like adding a link to the dashboard or something like that. So people can find it. People might not remember the URL at the time when they're actually needing to look for a class.
Yeah, this can easily be put in the dashboard.
But are people using the dashboard somewhat? Are
नहीं
people
मतलब the dashboard is not online yet, but we can put this there. अभी के लिए dashboard में उसने सिर्फ he just built the notice board डाला. So,
Yeah.
we didn't have like an intro, right? So just the new people.
No.
आदित्य से शुरू करना. तूने अपने आप को introduce ही नहीं किया.
Hi, I'm Aditya. I'm a first year undergraduate student from Department of Physics.
Okay. So if you tell me your department and stuff, I'll forget that. So instead, tell me what is like unique about you? What do you care about? What excites you?
What excites me?
What's the most exciting thing that's happened to you in the last like month?
It's a long period of time. I mean, like I got a revenge from I revenged my friend. I mean, like he posted something on my Facebook feed. Then I got him and I posted back on his. Very happy that I did that.
Okay.
That was the smart.
Cool. So revenge excites you. All right.
Yeah.
the viewers can also like,
Cool.
So, I am Dheeraj, second year, Department of Industrial Systems Engineering, and I like to make web applications more beautiful. So, I love making good and pleasant UI. Basically.
What's like your favorite web UI? What's a UI that you really like get inspired by?
So I follow a blog, Quadrops. So they do experimental things which are not yet available in browsers, but they are soon going to be available. So Quadrops is a very great, very good site for getting inspired. They have like things which we couldn't imagine that can be done on the browser. And I also like working on JavaScript and JavaScript applications on web.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So we have 3 first years. Just came to like see the demo day and stuff.
Okay.
I'm Ankit
Hi.
from Hi, I'm Ankit from CS department, first year. That's
Cool. What made you come here, Ankit?
huh?
What
Uh,
what
I
what
wanted
made you come here?
to I wanted to know what all projects are being done by Metakgp, and I want to really start some project in summer vacation. Like I have a lot of time, so I wanted to know about it.
Nice. What kind of project do you want to start? Do you have some ideas?
I don't have idea at present. That's why I came to have some idea like, what to
Okay,
do.
cool. Yeah, you should definitely ask these people. They're full of ideas. They'll give you lots of tips.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm Ritik. I'm also from department. I'm from first year. I just came to see how it works. It's very pretty cool to demo your project. It's give you
Yeah,
excitement.
yeah, definitely. Are you gonna demo something next time?
Surely I will be starting the project in the summers. That's why I came here to see it.
Okay, awesome. Do you know what you're gonna work on?
Presently not, but I'm thinking on something.
Okay. Any ideas that you want to share?
I was thinking to work on a project of Metakgp of GYFT that getting your
Yeah.
freaking timetable. So I'm thinking on working on that.
Okay. Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Cool.
It's not a problem. You don't have to worry about it.
I'm Rohit
Hi.
from I'm Rohit from
Yeah.
5 years department.
Your question.
Yeah, I'm first year student.
Okay. Hi, Rohit. What made you come here?
I want to do some project from Metakgp and so see how it works.
Okay. What kind of project do you want to do?
Since I'm new, I just want to know how it works and all. Since I'm very much new to these all things.
Right. Okay. So you want to know like how the web works and like build a website or a web app or something. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
So, hi, I'm Kausab. I'm not going to give my intro. There was something interesting that I wanted to share. So,
Yeah.
to recollect, we built a dashboard, and with the support of a current VP, we were able to get more people aware about Metakgp and what we do with the dashboard. So, one interesting event happened is elections. So, one of the vice presidential candidates, like they have proposals and like they have 5 or 6 things that they want to show. So the first proposal of a VP candidate was they wanted to engage more PG and RS people into like the community and what they are doing. So what he proposed was he wanted a demo day. He literally used the word demo days for PG and RS students. So that was very interesting. Like we have managed to subconsciously enter people's brains without tracing it back to Metakgp. So that was pretty
Yeah.
interesting. And that's what I wanted to share. We can,
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Did you tell him about our demo days?
I actually commented on his like he shared a video of his proposals. I commented on it. Like people saw it, but he did not get back to me.
Okay.
So until last year, what used to happen is the candidates used to share their proposals 2 or 3 days in advance. So there was a proper discussion on the proposals and everything. But this time they shared it just one day before their the voting date. So we didn't have time to discuss it, and like we couldn't say like, "Are tu copy kiya?"
Yeah, but the same thing happened here. Last year, I think even like Skalja ran a piece about the proposal and the candidate, that whole thing. But this time they did not do that. The ERP thing did make it into Vishal's proposal. So the guy who won has the ERP API as one of his proposals.
Nice.
But yeah, but I mean, yeah, it'll just be.
This will be very similar to the we already had
Yeah,
a dashboard.
yeah, yeah.
Only put it on a website and hi, to kitna kaam karta hai. People are saying it during holidays. Like, He has not lost anything.
Yeah, so I mean, it's there in his proposal, so
It's fine. We get more people. Like, we get
Yeah.
new people joining it, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
that's I guess
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let me run the spinner. All right, are you ready?
These are.
Yeah, can you see? Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Okay.
On the
Dheeraj wins.
Dheeraj wins. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. You can get your you get a cash prize for winning. So it's just a small like thing to encourage people to demo more. But you can get that from Siddharth or from Naresh, one of these two. All right. Thanks everyone for coming. Bye.
Okay.
That like button. And subscribe for daily notification. New notification.